Today I'm very happy with being able to be here in this office to discuss with Marius Donker about the basic knowledge that actually it's new concept for me to hear this. To begin with, let me ask you a question. What is the concept of basic knowledge is all about?
Well, I thought about this concept, this expression, as basic knowledge is the knowledge you need to live a life. It sounds quite simple, and I believe it is simple because you can apply basic knowledge to all kinds of situations. Above that, it is a knowledge that is not only education. This education is the learning in school, learning in books, but this is more and wider, a concept that includes skills, in the sense that you have to learn to cope in your life with the opportunities and threats of a fast changing and very complex world we live in.
Yeah.
And I'm worried about many people who at some stage in their life fail to cope with it and lose a lot of quality in their lives. And it can happen at any moment. So we have to prepare people, regardless of race, regardless of sex, regardless of age and education, how to cope with living.
So it's all cover of the society. I mean, let's say it's not based on the age itself.
No. I cannot say it is based on education, because you can think about Indians in the Amazon region who have never gone to school, but who can cope with their lives.
Yeah, with their life. At least they can solve their own problem.
Yeah, they have probably a less complex life, and they have learned to cope without any school books. So you have certain skills, social skills, and technical skills in whatever situation you are, and you have to cope with it. And I think it's that it is important that we teach people, or that we simply help more or less in normal life. That can be at school, but it can also be simply within the structure of the family or the community, to give them the tools to or how can you say it, to give them the tools to handle these problems. For me, it is important to see that what is lacking in this society for very much for very many situations I see here, that we are not informed through school books about subjects like rights, subjects like obligations we have, because I think that you cannot speak of rights if you don't have obligations on the other side. And then we come, of course, to how to handle your own responsibility, which is not for everybody a normal situation to pick up the responsibility. And if you pick up your responsibility, you are probably also able to take some risks in coming a step further in the life you are leading. Of course, education is bringing you in the direction of a professional world or a higher level of for the provision of income, but the other skills, living your life, is absolutely separate from the things you learn at school.
I think so. This concept is cover more wider or in wider context than the education at school or at college. So how can we? I mean, where we have to start? How do we know that certain certain society, say for example, or certain community can cope with their current problem? So where we should start?
Well, we have already started. In our life, you like a father already started educating not only your children in counting and reading and writing, but also in how to behave, and especially in how to develop a compassion for our earth, a compassion for animals, for man and for nature alike.
So it's not only about how we compare about the human, right?
Oh no, absolutely not. Because for me it is important to approach all these rights at the same level. If we have compassion for people, if we are educated in or if we are raised in families or community with a compassion for people, that means that you have a solid community in caring for each other. One of the most important parts for me is that you acquire the same feelings of responsibility and rights and obligations towards animals, and just the same towards nature. It is a sorry thing that what I see that happens to the world is that where animals in the evolution always adapted to their surroundings and nature, we are the only species, and it is a sorry thing that is not adapting to our surroundings and nature, but we are constantly adapting the surroundings and nature to us, to our needs.
Not others' need. For example, not for animal need.
No, not for our own needs. And that is very often the wrong way to go, as we see how we first are more estranged in our relations to animals and nature, and in the other way how we see how we lose this contact with everything that lives. We are losing, we don't see we don't see enough how we can adapt to the requirements of the people and the community and the economical structure. It is a matter of social contact. We are living in a public area where the public causes of, for instance, this bankruptcy, stress in the family, divorce or death will lead to a total collapse of a personal life. So, as far as I see, we should all focus a bit wider than education in terms of school education alone. It should be a wider effort for all of us to not lose sight of the development of people in being or becoming a guardian of our earth instead of one of the destructors of our earth.
So considering its advantages to create a more peaceful society, I believe, with this concept, but how can we implement it in the community, for example, or in school, or even in a smaller context in the family, such context?
It is, I don't know how far we can reach the effect of our efforts, but creating a constant awareness for everything you do, and internalizing that awareness for people who are used now to simply dispose of their waste,
Yeah.
of letting stuff drop out of their hands in nature or on the streets, to be aware that if you simply clean it up, or if you bring it there where it belongs, and that is in the waste bins, that life and the surroundings are much better to live in. It is a constant awareness, a constant attention, and what we have seen in different efforts to clean the beaches in India of plastics and other rubbish, and then giving an awareness, this course for students, that this was a beautiful combination of hands-on work to make it a better world, and on the other hand, a real understanding of why we are doing this and what we should do in the future to prevent it for deteriorating or degrading again. So my idea is that if we can widen our efforts in education and involve all who are concerned about the development.
So it is more more focused on giving or doing thing rather than raising an awareness in a formal way.
It is the combination. I think if you do the right thing towards animals and nature, then it is impossible that you don't breed an awareness as well. And if the awareness is there, and I can see it with a lot of students and children around me, they already know what the value is of animal life. I see that they react to cruelty. I see how they react to war or war threats. I see how they question us about what the causes are for the fact that their daddy and mommy have less money to spend because someone far away evoked a recession that drove their parents out of their home. These smaller or bigger disasters are moments of raising awareness, whether started by the parents, or raising awareness by the children by questioning why they see their surroundings and their situations change for the better, or at this moment more for the worse. That is more or less how far I am at this moment with trying to develop the concept, and also considering of course the restrictions in what we can do, but also the opportunities for what we could do. Yeah.
Okay. So from now on, we know what is the concept of basic knowledge all about, and how it contributes for a better society.
At least let me try to summarize it in the fact that basic knowledge is the knowledge you need to live a life, and with that I mean that you have a fulfilled life with a quality that cannot as easily be harmed as it is harmed under the circumstances that you don't have this basic knowledge.
Okay, thank you very much. It's such pleasure to talk about the basic knowledge.
Thank you. You're welcome.